Hey, welcome to Attack the Stack. If you like that, try this.
The corners of this world speak of a man who fights without being seen.
Assassin's Creed Origins is an action-adventure stealth game developed by Ubisoft Montreal and published by Ubisoft. It is the 10th major installment in the Assassin's Creed series and acts as a soft reboot in the gameplay for the series. The game is set in ancient Egypt near the end of the Ptolemaic period, 49 to 47 BC, and recounts the secret fictional history of real-world events. The story follows a Medjay named Bayek and explores the origins of the centuries-long conflict between the Hidden Ones, forerunners to the Brotherhood of Assassins, who fight for peace by promoting liberty, and the Order of the Ancients, forerunners to the Templar Order, who desire peace through the forced imposition of order. Players complete quests to progress through the story, earn experience points, and acquire new skills. Outside of quests, the player can freely roam the open world environment on foot, horseback, camelback, horse-drawn vehicles, or boat to explore locations, complete optional side quests, and unlock weapons. The player can also tame various predators, which will serve as a companion for the player and assist them against enemies. Naval combat, underwater exploration, and tomb raiding return to the series. Locations within the game world are designed to enable the player to choose their playing style by offering stealth and open combat as equally viable choices for completing objectives. Origins received positive reviews from critics, with many calling it an improvement over previous entries, who praised the story, characters, voice acting, reworked gameplay systems, immersive world of Egypt, historical accuracy, and the visuals. Horizon Zero Dawn is an action role-playing game developed by Guerrilla Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The plot follows Aloy, a hunter in a world overrun by machines, who sets out to uncover her past. Being set in a post-apocalyptic setting, anthropologists were consulted to authenticate the world's decay over a millennium. The map is composed of forest, jungle, desert, and snowy mountain regions. Mountainous terrain is traversed with the employment of parkour and aided by the use of zip lines. Aloy can kill enemies in a variety of ways using ranged weapons, a spear, and stealth. In addition, she can loot their remains for crafting resources. Weapons have modification slots for dealing more damage as well. Aloy also engages in battle with human enemies such as bandits and the Eclipse cult. Aloy can dodge, sprint, slide, or roll to evade her enemies' advances. Hiding in foliage to ambush nearby enemies can ensure immediate takedowns. Swimming may reach enemies stealthily or places otherwise unreachable on foot. 3 categories occur in the skill tree: Prowler, Brave, and Forager. Upgrades in each category result in more adept use of the skills learned. The game has a seamless open world with a day and night cycle and dynamic weather system. The quest structure unfolds to accommodate the exploration of tribes, while the main story covers the entire world. Horizon Zero Dawn was praised by critics for its open world, story, visuals, combat, and characterization. The game won numerous awards. I love this game. In fact, in my opinion, to this day, it's still Sony's best game developed by first-party studios. I mean, what other game out there lets you fight these huge mechanized robot creatures in this future post-apocalyptic world, which actually resembles more of a prehistoric world, and a stellar sci-fi story? I mean, come on.
Am I dead?
You are banished from death. A curse binds us together.
Who are you?
Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor is an open-world action-adventure game developed by Monolith Productions and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. An original non-canon story set in the legendarium created by J.R.R. Tolkien, the game takes place between the events of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings film trilogies. The player controls Talion, a ranger who bonds with the wraith of the elf lord Celebrimbor as the two set out to avenge the deaths of their loved ones. Players can engage in melee combat and use wraith abilities to fight and manipulate enemies. The game introduces the Nemesis system, which allows the artificial intelligence of non-playable characters to remember their prior actions against the game's protagonist and react accordingly. In order to create an accurate environment and to be consistent with Tolkien's books, the developers consulted many people from Warner Bros., as well as Peter Jackson, director of the film trilogies The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. They also received assistance from Weta Workshop, who advised on the special effects. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor received critical acclaim upon release. Most praise was directed at its combat, open-world design, and the Nemesis system. Shadow of Mordor would go on to win several awards from video game publications, including Game of the Year. Infamous Second Son is an action-adventure game developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It is the third installment in the Infamous series. The story follows protagonist Delsin Rowe fighting the Department of Unified Protection, or DUP, in a fictionalized Seattle. Infamous Second Son is set in an open-world environment. Delsin Rowe's superpowers were designed to feel fluid and suited to the open-world design. Delsin is a conduit, which allows him to use superpower abilities by manipulating materials such as smoke, neon, video, and concrete. These materials can be weaponized or used to deftly navigate the game world. Players may choose to act in either a good or evil way. Player choices influence outcomes in some later missions. Delsin's combat choices manifest in a logo displayed on his jacket and the HUD, which features a blue, or good, bird, and a red, or evil bird. Performing actions that are villainous or heroic gradually change that logo. As his karma level increases, Delsin can acquire new powers that correspond to his playstyle. A continual streak of either good or evil actions fills up a bar in the HUD, which then lets Delsin perform a powerful finishing move called a Karma Bomb. When not completing story missions, players can explore the city and complete activities such as tagging graffiti spots or assassinating DUP secret agents. The city is split into districts that are initially controlled by the DUP, but Delsin can gradually liberate each district by completing activities. Infamous Second Son was met with generally positive reviews. Critics praised its gameplay, dynamic combat, visuals, and design.
You are free.
We're taking our ashes to the highest peak in the realms.
Ashes?
It was our last wish.
Where must we go?
To a realm beyond your own.
God of War is an action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studio and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It is the 8th installment in the God of War series, the 8th chronologically, and the sequel to God of War 3. Unlike previous games, which were loosely based on Greek mythology, this installment is rooted in Norse mythology, with the majority of it set in ancient Norway in the realm of Midgard. For the first time in the series, there are two protagonists: Kratos, the former Greek god of war who remains the only playable character, and his young son, Atreus. Following the death of Kratos' second wife and Atreus' mother, they journey to fulfill her request that her ashes be spread at the highest peak of the 9 realms. Kratos keeps his troubled past a secret from Atreus, who is unaware of his divine nature. Along their journey, they encounter monsters and gods of the Norse world. A major gameplay change is that Kratos makes prominent use of a magical battle axe instead of his signature double-chained blades. God of War also uses an over-the-shoulder free camera with the game in one shot as opposed to the fixed cinematic camera of the previous entries. It was the first 3D AAA game to use a one-shot camera. The game also includes role-playing game elements, and Kratos' son Atreus provides assistance in combat. God of War received universal acclaim for its narrative, world design, art direction, music, graphics, characters, and combat system. It received a number of perfect review scores as well. Among other awards and nominations, God of War was awarded Game of the Year by numerous media outlets and award shows. I can't tell you guys how many minutes, maybe hours I spent just throwing the axe just to have it come back to me. To this day, it's still one of the most feel-good gameplay mechanics of the generation. The next few games in the list aren't as similar to Ghost of Tsushima in gameplay as the previous games in the list, but if you're looking to continue the way of the samurai or maybe just do some ninja shit, then these are for you.
My lord, I have come for you. So the noble shinobi stands in our way.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is an action-adventure game developed by From Software and published by Activision. The game follows a shinobi known as Wolf as he attempts to take revenge on a samurai clan who attacked him and kidnapped his lord. Gameplay is focused on stealth, exploration, and combat, with a particular emphasis on boss battles. The game takes place in a fictionalized Japan set during the Sengoku period and makes strong references to Buddhist mythology and philosophy. While creating the game, lead director Hidetaka Miyazaki wanted to create a new intellectual property that marked a departure from the Soul series of games, also made by From Software, and looked to series such as The Mysterious Murasame Castle and Tenchu for inspiration. Sekiro received universal acclaim from critics. Praise was directed toward its gameplay and setting. It was also nominated for and won several awards, including Game of the Year. I must warn you, this is much harder than Ghost of Tsushima, even at its highest difficulty. How hard exactly? It's probably the hardest game I've played this entire generation, so you are warned, but it's excellent. And when you get good at the combat, it's sublime. Onimusha Warlords is an action-adventure game and the first entry of the Onimusha series. The game's plot is set in the Sengoku period and focuses on the samurai Samanosuke Akechi, who fights against the forces of Nobunaga Oda. After Nobunaga's death in battle, Samanosuke goes on a quest to save Princess Yuki from demons and working alongside Nobunaga's forces. The player controls Samanosuke and his partner, a female ninja, Kaede, in their fight against demons. While the game borrows elements from Capcom's own Resident Evil survival horror series, such as solving puzzles and a fixed camera, the game is focused more on the action genre, with Samanosuke possessing multiple weapons that can be upgraded by defeating several enemies. Following its original release, Onimusha Warlords achieved high popularity, and the game has been well received by video game publications worldwide.
We are all born into this world.
Nioh 2 is an action role-playing game developed by Team Ninja. The game was published by Koei Tecmo in Japan and Sony Interactive Entertainment worldwide. Most of Nioh 2's storyline chapters are a prequel to the original game. Players take the role of a character nicknamed Hide, a half-yokai referred to as a shiftling, whose journey through the Sengoku era begins when they befriend Kinoshita Tokichiro, a merchant seeking to make his mark in history by selling Amrita and Mumio, and a demon hunter of the Sohaya group. At the same time, the party is also accosted by Kashin Koji, a mysterious entity involved in Hide's past who obstructs them at every opportunity. Players can create their own playable character and choose a yokai spirit. Players are equipped with a variety of weapons such as Odachi and Kusarigama, and earn new skills as they progress in the game. When players defeat a hostile yokai, some of them may drop a soul core. They allow players to use yokai abilities and transform into a yokai after being deposited into a shrine. At locations named Benevolent Graves, players can summon other players controlled by artificial intelligence to assist them in combat. The game also features a 3-player cooperative multiplayer mode. Seven Samurai is a Japanese epic samurai drama film co-written, edited, and directed by Akira Kurosawa. The story takes place in 1586 during the Sengoku period of Japanese history. It follows the story of a village of farmers that hire 7 ronin, or masterless samurai, to combat bandits who will return after the harvest to steal their crops. Since its release, Seven Samurai has consistently ranked highly in critics' lists of the greatest films of all time, such as the British Film Institute's Sight and Sound and Rotten Tomatoes polls. It was also voted the greatest foreign language film in BBC's 2018 International Critics poll. It has remained highly influential, often seen as one of the most remade, reworked, and referenced films in cinema. This one is the GOAT, and I think most critics would agree on that. What I'm saying is, if you watch one film on this list, let this one be it. Ron, meaning chaos or turmoil, is an action drama film directed, edited, and co-written by Akira Kurosawa. The plot derives from William Shakespeare's King Lear and includes segments based on legends of the daimyo Mori Motonari. The film is about an aging Sengoku period warlord who decides to abdicate as ruler in favor of his 3 sons. Kurosawa conceived the idea of Ron in the mid-1970s when he read about Motonari, who was famous for having 3 highly loyal sons. Kurosawa devised a plot in which the sons become antagonists of their father. Although the film became heavily inspired by Shakespeare's play King Lear, Kurosawa began using it only after he had started pre-planning for Ron. As Kurosawa's last epic, Ron has often been cited as amongst his finest achievements and is widely regarded as one of the greatest films ever made. The film was hailed for its powerful images and use of color.
Yojimbo ni douda. Ude wa ima miseru.
Yojimbo, meaning bodyguard, is a Japanese samurai film directed by Akira Kurosawa, who produced the film with Tomoyuki Tanaka and Ryuzo Kikushima. Kurosawa wrote the screenplay with Kikushima and Hideo Oguni based on Kurosawa's story. Kurosawa also edited the film, and it tells the story of a ronin portrayed by Toshihiro Mifune who arrives in a small town where competing crime lords vie for supremacy. The 2 bosses each try to hire the newcomer as a bodyguard. Based on the success of Yojimbo, Kurosawa's next film, Sanjuro, was altered to incorporate the lead character of this film. In both films, the character wears a rather dilapidated dark kimono bearing the same family mon, or emblem. The film was released and produced by Toho. Yojimbo received highly positive reviews and over the years became widely regarded as one of the best films by Kurosawa and one of the greatest films ever made. It was unofficially remade by Sergio Leone as the spaghetti western film, A Fistful of Dollars, leading to a lawsuit by Toho. Kagemusha is a Jirageki film directed by Akira Kurosawa. Kagemusha is the Japanese term for a political decoy, literally meaning shadow warrior. It is set in the Sengoku period of Japanese history and tells the story of a lower-class criminal who is taught to impersonate a dying daimyo to dissuade opposing lords from attacking the newly vulnerable clan. The daimyo is based on Takeda Shingen, and the film ends with the climactic 1575 Battle of Nagashino. The film won the Palme d'Or at the 1980 Cannes Film Festival. It was also nominated for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film and received other honors. If it's possible that anyone could do Shakespeare better than Shakespeare, I think Kurosawa was the man to do so. See for yourself.
腹心を殺しまた友を殺し
Throne of Blood, or as it's known in Japan, Spiderweb Castle, is a Japanese historical drama film co-written and directed by Akira Kurosawa. The film transposes the plot of William Shakespeare's play Macbeth from medieval Scotland to feudal Japan, with stylistic elements drawn from Nioh drama. The film stars Toshihiro Mifune and Isuzu Yamada in the lead roles, modeled on the characters Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. As with the play, the film tells the story of a warrior who assassinates his sovereign at the urging of his ambitious wife. Kurosawa was a fan of the play and intended to make his own adaptation for several years, delaying it after learning of Orson Welles' Macbeth. Among his changes was the ending, which required archers to fire arrows around Mifune. The film was shot around Mount Fuji and Izu Peninsula. Despite the changing in setting and language and numerous creative liberties, Throne of Blood is often considered one of the better film adaptations of the play. It won 2 Mainichi Film Awards, including Best Actor for Mifune.
私は聞きたくない。これ以上恐ろしい話はもうたくさんだ。本当のことが言えねえのは人間じゃ。嘘だ。
Rashomon is a Jirageki psychological thriller crime film directed by Akira Kurosawa, working in close collaboration with cinematographer Kazuo Miyagawa. It stars Toshiro Mifune, Machiko Kyo, Masayuki Mori, and Takashi Shimura. The plot of the story and characters are based upon Akutagawa Ryunosuke's Rashomon story. Every element is largely identical, from the murdered samurai speaking through a Shinto psychic, the bandit in the forest, the monk, the rape of the wife, and the dishonest retelling of the events in which everyone shows their ideal self by lying. The story takes place in the 8th century at Rashomon, the south gate to Heian-kyo, or modern-day Kyoto. The film is known for a plot device that involves various characters providing subjective, alternative, self-serving, and contradictory versions of the same incident. Rashomon was the first Japanese film to receive a significant international reception. It won several awards, including the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival and an Academy Honorary Award at the 24th Academy Awards, and is considered one of the greatest films ever made. The Rashomon effect is named after the film. This might be my favorite Kurosawa pick, just because it's so different than any other samurai film out there. It's not really about action, swordplay, or fighting and killing. It's really just a whodunit, and it's a masterpiece. Check it out. The Hidden Fortress, or The Three Villains of the Hidden Fortress as it's known in Japan, is a Jirageki adventure film directed by Akira Kurosawa. It narrates the story of 2 peasants who agree to escort a man and a woman across enemy lines in return for gold without knowing that he is a general and the woman is a princess. The film stars Toshiro Mifune and General Makabe Rokurota and Misa Uehara as Princess Yuki, while the role of the peasants, Tahei and Marashichi, are portrayed by Minaru Chiaki and Kamatari Fujiwara, respectively. Alright, that's it folks. I need a drink after this script. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, hope you find some goodies. Peace. If you liked the video or it helped you out, click the thumbs up button below. It really helps us out. If you think it could help others, share it. Of course, subscribe for more content like this and more. And if you have anything to add to our list, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching, and keep attacking.